Wonderful to see you all. Thank you for getting up early and coming. Brilliant. What am I going to talk about? Aha! Fantastic. Collabora Online. Excellent collaboration stuff. Yeah, I've got 60-some slides in 20 minutes, so I will try and speak slowly. I will not say everything on the slides. I believe you learned to read earlier on, so thank you for that. That's great. One thing to highlight here is the interoperability with Microsoft formats. I think there was a great question there about migrating and bringing your data with you. I think this is a key problem, obviously. But there's another problem, and we can import all of that data really, really nicely. We have the world's leading interoperability with Microsoft, I would argue, and I helped standardize their file format with them, Microsoft. So it's some good fun there. One of our top interoperability problems is people using open standards, as they should. They use ODF, and that's brilliant. And then they send the ODF document to Microsoft Office, and it completely mangles it. It's unbelievable what you can do with a document. And there's nothing we can do about that. It's deeply frustrating. I would love to be able to fix my competitor's product to make their filters better. So at some point, there's a tragic decision you need to make, depending on how you interoperate with other people, as to which file format you choose. But the good news is that we do both fantastically. So there we go. Our architecture's a bet on the CPU threads getting cheaper and network getting cheaper. So far, that seems to be a good bet. And looking at the graphs, it seems to be going really well. We do work with AMD, for example, optimizing and making these things more beautiful and performant and restart. Anyway, here's how it looks. If you've been living under a rock and you haven't used OW2's beautiful Nextcloud and Collabora install, you may not have seen this. So here it looks like you can write documents. That's good. And spreadsheets with pretty graphs in. And you can make decisions. Business decisions are made in spreadsheets. So that's cool. You can try making them in databases, but it takes a very long time. So make your decisions in a spreadsheet. Drawings and presentations, obviously, are vital. There was a question, I think, about mobile devices. Obviously, we run on Android and iOS and Chrome OS and nice open source, free, hyper-usable things. Now, perhaps you are sitting here and you are very frightened, and you don't want to do anything unless someone has done it first. And perhaps lots of people have done it first. And you missed the bit in the Open Desk talk where people are deploying all of this stuff right now successfully and having a good fun. But anyway, our marketing team have understood your concern and have written lots of nice case studies to help you make a good decision. XWiki somehow, the marketing team managed to miss off this, which just shows you there's many more good things in the world that we that aren't even on these slides. But yes. An awesome part of OpenDesk. And it's great to see OpenDesk using those best-of-breed pieces and making decisions. I think one of the problems of open source traditionally has been you can have anything you like, And the problem with that is that, well, what do you pick? What's the right thing? And I think it's great that OpenDesk have made some really strong decisions there of best-of-breed components to use. So that's cool. Aha, distinctives. Why us? Well, let me have a positive framing of some of the reasons. So our code is open source. Now, that's a good idea. I think that's the way to go. 100% of our code is no proprietary periphery, or open core, as they call it. And it's built on LibreOffice technology, so a huge community there of people doing great stuff out there that we collaborate with and are a key part of. We're built on a free software stack. This is not an ASP.NET application. It's real open source C++, and it runs beautifully on Linux. Anyone can contribute and participate. We have open calls, open conferences, weekly catch-ups. We talk to people and interact with them. And we're also focused. So we're really just doing Office. We are not trying to boil the ocean. We want to do one thing well, so we do that. And we really, really love working with people, our partners. I see Nextcloud, XWiki, but OpenExchange, lots of those other people who do other extremely difficult pieces really well. And we actually have 230 other partners who I should mention at length later. If you want to come and see me, I'll have some on my last slide. We have great support, and we're actually certified for being reasonably competent, which is good. A well-run business. And we license in a friendly way, so per user and not per random metric, whether that's connections or something else. 50% of our developers are in the EU, 75% NATO, Not a penny goes to Russia to fund Putin's illegal war if you buy from us. And we have friendly investors in Canada and the UK. And that means that our engineers can travel to you and they can speak your language and they can help you. We like to think, clean hands. We also have a relatively secure setup. So we don't hand documents out to people straight away and apply policy on the client. It's very easy to scale and load balance and make this thing sing. There are very little dependencies. It's very, very simple and easy. And in recent times, we built this cool controller. Aha, cool. And it makes scaling even better in a Kubernetes environment. So you can demand scale and grow and shrink as and when load changes on your server, which is kind of cool. Saves you money. So I'll look very quickly at the latest features. I think our 2404 came out about a month ago. Has a year name in it. And there's all sorts of nice ergonomics. So I'll just bash through some screenshots. Can anyone remember the 5th parameter to VLOOKUP? It's a very important one. You need to have it there. And it's nice to have the help to help you as you type it in. Lots of better change tracking ergonomics, prettier user following, searchable help online. Many PDF improvements for accessibility, so tagged PDFs, helping the visually impaired enjoy your documents nicely. We've already shipped a whole load of accessibility, but just continued wins there, better screen reading, keyboard, shortcuts, and so on. And yeah, working through endless audit results to make this ever more perfect. Better cell protection and section editing. New filter options, filtering by color. I mean, people tell me that you should put all of your data in a database. And if you have a lot of data, that's right. But it's nice to do small things in a spreadsheet. But probably you shouldn't use color for your rows to determine, like state. You should have a conditional format and stuff. But anyway, people do it. So we should be able to filter on color so that you can see the green bits. But I don't know. Life is going downhill a bit. But anyway, we will pander to the masses that want this. So there you go. Better read-only mode, so you can copy and paste if that's enabled, and follow links and navigate through it and have just a better accessibility experience with a cursor. Present in window, I have a giant screen. I like being at home. My laptop feels so small. I feel crushed in my laptop. And it's great to have a giant screen, but if you have to share the whole screen when you're presenting, that's a real annoyance. So just present in window has made my life so much better as an easy built-in feature. We're a stateless container, so we don't store your document, and we don't do any authentication. We rely on another integration to do that for us. But sometimes people change permissions in the integration, and we can't save it back. So what do? Well, anyway, there's a quarantine now that we can sort of use to try and rescue very odd corner case things. Anyway, the last I think, feature in 2404 that I'm going to talk about, because there are many more, is this. I love this. This is cool. There is no other Office suite, I think, that can do this. Auto-saving in the background. So because we use Linux, we can essentially shut our threads down and fork our process. And one of those processes can go away and save the document, and the other one can carry on editing as if nothing is happening. And it's just beautiful. I mean, we used to show this saving animation after about 700 milliseconds, because people might wonder why the app is doing something, and show you the progress of an autosave. And this really is, if you've got a giant government document, hundreds of pages of images and so on, this can actually take a little time. And, well, I don't know, 7 milliseconds to fork, and then a little bit of work, and no interruption. Just really beautiful. I'm loving it, Interoperability. So here we go. Much better justification. So maybe you can see here the red is where we're not matching. Microsoft layout. So, of course, layout isn't standardized, so we have to try and reverse engineer this to a large degree. But this is a smart justify feature, and you can see the sort of degree of testing we're doing. So on the right-hand side is the new version, obviously looking beautiful. And getting that line wrap and matching great. Funded by the European Commission. I mentioned we have a large community. Laszlo Nemeth, NLNet, doing good things. And just another contributor to our large community. And yeah, obviously it's not perfect because our fonts aren't identical. Well, that's fine. It's the metrics that are important and the layout. A better copy and paste. Yeah, the browser APIs for this are starting to arrive in a reasonable state. So now we can avoid annoying people with this kind of dialogue. At least in Chrome. Firefox, we hope, will improve. We reverse engineered Google Sheets, HTML extensions, and documented them and published those. And so now you can copy and paste nicely and get your formulae and your styles and not lose any of that stuff. Better SVG import for OpenXML file formats, StyleRef, which is a funny way of putting references in your headers and footers and so on that adapt depending where they're at in funny ways. Performance. Sorry, this is all stuff that's happened in the last year, actually, yeah, in the last release. So here we go. So just compressing what we do when we start up so it's much snappier and quicker, parallelizing much more of it between the browser and the server. Tile compression, just much quicker. Run length encoding, shrinking the thing, bigger caches, better synchronization on both sides to improve snappiness and responsiveness. Fixed a silly threading bug, around 18x speed up for large screens of stuff. Better threading in calc. Yeah, so this is really nice. I like this win, 3 days to 36. So we have a huge test suite that we run. It's approaching a million files. We load and save and reload and check are correct and are not crashing. And ideally under an ASAN build, so we're checking for all sorts of bad behavior. And yeah, just speeding the spreadsheet of that up massively with some improved calculation. And we also watch what our users do. It's a bit mean, really. It's a privacy invasion. But either way, we discover they're doing a lot of PDF, random thumbnailing, for example, and so we can fix that sort of thing. We sample like every second over a week on our demo servers and see silly stuff. Moving bits from one side to another to JavaScript. AVX2. What a brilliant thing it is. Why operate on 1 pixel at a time when you can do 8 at a time, And just get a massive speed up. Really, really, really cool. Bit packing, performance improvements, and loads of these all over the place are making 2404 slicker, quicker, and more beautiful. And we even have pretty graphs to show it. Look at this. I don't know. Everything gets twice as fast. I don't know. Many of these things are algorithmic optimization, but so the speed up depends on the size of your document. I talked a little bit about accessibility. There were some more features there that have come in the last year. So dark mode, better keyboard navigation, improved accessibility checker, and improved PDF UA. The dark mode's great in lying in bed at night. When your spouse can't sleep, because of the light from the screen, you can turn it dark, which is great. Better keyboard accelerators. And navigator functionality, I think, there on the side, so you can see the structure of your document and navigate through it nicely. And then just lots of interop work. I guess interoperability work much of it is our bread and butter, fixing minor corner cases and missing featurelets in a vast document space. So improved compact pivot tables, multi-page floating tables, which are often used in forms, weirdly. Misdesigned forms where people use tables instead of borders and sections. Anyway, happens a lot. Better, more simplified dialogues, QR code injection, change tracking numbered lists, well, all sorts of things. Lots of little features that make things better. One last thing I talk about is this WASM prototype. So this is really a community thing, and but it's good to see, and it looks exactly the same. So. Well, there you are. Isn't that a triumph? With all of this work and effort, we can make software that looks identical, but now, of course, runs in your browser offline. So that's pretty nice. So in theory, you can carry on editing if you've said you're going offline, and at the moment you can't save it back, which is silly, isn't it? But it's a prototype. It's a proof of concept, and it's great to see that happening. And yeah, we'll see if someone wants it. So thank you to our partners. I couldn't be here without all of you supporting us. It's not magic. There is no magic money tree, no money fairy that comes and provides it. So everything we do really is funded by our partners, our customers, or the community, and we love to plow some of that back into funding cool conferences like OW2Con. So thank you for that. And thank you, to all of these, cool people. This is only a selection of a few of them that we work with. As I say, there's about 230. So do come and check out our booth, see us. Thank you for your patience. You've been very good. Thank you.